Hello everyone, I'm glad you are here. Welcome to our channel. Today we'll talk about OMG, where is my passport? Oh my god. Reading and listening. Read the title and the introduction to a story. Which of the four things do you think worst to lose when you are on holiday? Title first is passport, tickets, money, and phone. I think the worst thing to lose when you are on holiday is passport, maybe money. Read the story. Before I read the story, we need to read the introduction. This is the introduction. It's the mantra we always say to ourselves when you go on holiday to make sure we haven't forgotten anything. But what happens when one of those things is suddenly missing? Email us your stories or send us a recording. Now, read the story sent by a reader to an online magazine. What did Stuart lose? He find it? Let's read the story. There is this photo, and last year I went on holiday to the Alps with a group of friends. One day we climbed a mountain. Well, it wasn't really a climb, but it was a long walk, and it took about 2 hours to get to the top. When we got there, we had lunch. The view was amazing. We could see the sea in the distance. We took photos and just sat in the sun for a while. Then we went down again, and when we got back to the car, I wanted to take another photo, but I couldn't find my phone. It wasn't in my bag. I thought, oh no, it probably at the top of the mountain where we had lunch. I decided the only thing to do was to go back up the mountain to get it, because I didn't want to leave my phone up there. My friend said, but you can't go on your own. So, in the end, we all went up again, which was another 2 hours. When we got to the top, we spent about half an hour looking for the phone, but we couldn't find it anywhere. Then it started to get colder. It was now late afternoon, so I took my jacket out of my bag and my phone was in my jacket pocket. I felt terrible and really stupid. My friends were very nice about it, but they never let me forget it. The question is, correct the bold information. For example, Stuart went to the Alps with his family. No, with his friends. One day they went cycling. No, went a long walk. It took 3 hours. No, it's about 2 hours. They had a snack. No, it was a lunch. The view wasn't very good. No, it was amazing. He couldn't find his camera. It's not about his camera, but about his phone. One of his friends, he went back up the mountain with one of his friends. No, it was about all his friends. They spent an hour looking for the phone. No, it's half an hour. It started to get warmer. No, to get colder. He found his phone in his bag, exactly in his jacket pocket. And his friends were angry about it? No, were very nice. Listen to a recording sent it to the magazine. What did Martha lose? Did she find it? Let's listen.
2.1 Marta's story.
This happened 2 years ago. I'm Spanish, but I was in Ireland at the time because I had a job in Dublin. Some friends of mine who lived in Lyon, in France, invited me to come and stay, so I decided to have a short holiday, a long weekend from Friday to Tuesday. I looked for cheap flights, but I couldn't find any direct ones. The only thing I could find was Ryanair from Dublin to Brussels and then Air France from Brussels to Lyon. Anyway, the flight to Brussels was fine, and when I arrived, I went to the gate for my next flight to Lyon. But then when I needed to show my boarding pass and my ID, I couldn't find my ID card. I looked everywhere, in my bag, in my case, but it wasn't there. The people at the gate were very nice, and they made some phone calls, but nobody could find it. So they told me to wait in a small room, and I sat there for more than an hour, and my flight to Lyon left without me. It was awful. I cried. I was so stressed and unhappy. In the end, a policeman came and he said that I couldn't go to France because I didn't have any ID. The only place I could go was to Spain to get a new ID card. I waited another 5 or 6 hours for the flight to Madrid, feeling very depressed. So I never had my holiday. I spent the weekend in Madrid getting my new ID card.
The question is, what did Martha lose? Her ID card? And did she find it? No, she didn't. When did it happen? The answer is 2 years ago. What did Martha want to go on holiday? Why? Where? Where did Martha? The place was Lyon, and because her friends invited her to come and stay. Why did she fly to Brussels? Because it was cheaper. What happened at the gate in Brussels airport? She couldn't find her ID card. How did she feel? She felt stressed and unhappy. What did the policeman say? He said that she couldn't go to France because she didn't have an ID card. Where did she fly in the end? She flew to Madrid and she spent the weekend getting a new ID card. Grammar: past simple, regular, and irregular verbs. Write the past simple form of these verbs. Are they regular or irregular? Check it towards story. For example, go, it's an irregular verb. Went. Climb, it's climbed. Regular verb. Be, it was or were. Irregular. Decided, regular. Take, took. Irregular. Say, irregular. Had, irregular. Spent, irregular. This climb, it's an M here. Climbed. Cam, could, irregular as well. Started, regular. Sit, sat, irregular. feel, felt, irregular. Get, got, irregular. Want, wanted, regular. And think, thought, irregular as well. Complete the negative verbs, then check in Stuart's story. It wasn't really a climb, but it was a long walk to take another photo. But I couldn't find my phone. Was? No, it's not. The answer is I didn't want to leave my phone up there. Grammar bank. Let's go.
How do you make negative and interrogative the past simple?
Put the verbs in brackets in the past simple. You are. We drove there from London, but our car broke down on the motorway, and we spent the first night in Birmingham. When we got to Edinburgh, we went to our hotel, but they couldn't find our reservation, and they were full. Didn't know what to do. That's correct. But in the end, we found a bed and breakfast, and we stayed there for the week. We saw the castle and bought a lot of souvenirs. We wanted to go to Loch Ness, but we didn't have much time, and it was quite far away. The weather wasn't really very good. It started raining on the day we left London, and it never stopped. Complete the questions in the past simple. Where did you go on holiday last year? We went to Vancouver. Did you have a good time? Yes, we had a great time. Who did you go with? I went with my family. Where did you stay? Stayed in a hotel. And how much did the plane tickets cost? What was the weather like? It was hot and sunny. What did you do in the evening? We usually went out for dinner. Listen to 3 sentences from Martha's story in one. What regular verb do you hear in each sentence? And remember that regular verbs end with ed. Let's listen to
2.3. 1,
I looked everywhere, in my bag, in my case, but it wasn't there.
2,
This happened 2 years ago.
3,
I waited another 5 or 6 hours.
Listen and repeat the sounds and sentences.
2.4.
Tie. I booked a hotel.
I booked a hotel.
We missed our flight.
We missed our flight.
Dog. I arrived at the airport.
I arrived at the airport.
We phoned our friends.
We phoned our friends.
Id.
It.
She invited us to stay.
She invited us to stay.
I needed a new passport.
I needed a new passport. You know the difference this sounds? It. For example, the last letter of the verb invite need T and D. This kind of sound, the verbs that I can feel the sound in my throat. For example, arrive, arrive. So the sound is D, final D, arrived. And this, for example, book, can't feel the last letter. Book, this letter is not felt. I can't feel it in my throat. So the sound is T, booked, and it, invited, needed. There's an explanation that I've already said. Say the past simple of these verbs. Which ones is ed pronounced? For example, that I said the verbs that the final letter is T or D. So the first that I can see is rent. Decide, the sound is D, decide, and start, the final letter is T, and want. This is 4 verbs. Listen and check.
2.5. Asked,
called, decided,
happened, rented, wanted.
Vocabulary, holidays. In 1 minute, write down 5 things you like doing when you are on holiday. Example, walking in the mountains, exploring a city, going to museums, then compare with a partner. Let's go to the vocabulary bank. Holidays, phrases with go. Match the phrases and photos. The photo 1, it's go sides. Number 2, go swimming. Number 3, go out at night. Number 4, go by bus. Number 5, it's go on holiday. Number 6, it was go skiing. 7, it's go abroad. Number 8, go camping. 9, it's go for a walk. And 10, go away for the weekend. Other holiday phrases complete the phrase with those verbs. As you can see, stay in a hotel. Photos is take photos. Souvenir, buy souvenirs. Have a good time. About a flight online or a hotel. It's a book, a bicycle. Bicycle would be hire a bicycle, rent an apartment, and listen and check.
2.7. 2. Other holiday phrases. Stay in a hotel, stay at a campsite, stay with friends, take photos, buy souvenirs, sunbathe on the beach, have a good time, spend money, rent an apartment, hire a bicycle, book a flight online.
Adjectives match the questions and answers. What was the weather like? It was warm and sunny. Number 1. What was the hotel like? It was comfortable. What was the town like? Friendly, I think. And what were the people like? Beautiful. Perfect. Let's listen and check.
2.8. 3 adjectives. 1.
What was the weather like?
It was warm.
It was sunny.
It was very windy.
it was foggy,
It was cloudy.
2.
What was the hotel like?
It was comfortable. It was luxurious.
It was basic.
it was dirty,
It was uncomfortable.
3.
What was the town like?
It was beautiful.
It was lovely.
It was noisy.
it was crowded,
4.
What were the people like?
they were friendly,
They were helpful.
They were unfriendly.
They were unhelpful.
Speaking. Listen to 4 conversations, complete the phrases that be used to show that he or she is interested in what A is saying. Let's listen.
2.9. 1,
I went to New York last week.
Wow! Did you like it?
2.
The weather was terrible. It rained every day.
Oh no, what a pity. What did you do? 3.
We went to a show in the West End.
Fantastic! What show was it?
4.
I lost my phone on the first day.
Really? How awful. How did you lose it?
Okay, fantastic. Correct. Wow, did you like it? The weather was terrible. Oh no, what a pity. Okay. To a show in the West End. Fantastic. I lost my phone. Really? How awful. How did you lose it? Okay, people, very much for today. God bless you. See you next class.